I would like that all the focal persons from all the participating universities, they quickly introduce about their presence today. Starting from I have the confirmation from Bahri University, Thal University. People at Islamia University, Bahawalpur, can you hear us, please?
Yes,
Can you
Dr.
hear us, please?
Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And from Kosar University, Mari, Dr. Shahidullah, can you hear us, please? Are you able to hear us, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have one more partner university remaining. I'm just checking with them. But two actually, from Northern University Nowshera and Women's University Multan. I'm just checking with them. Hopefully they will join soon as well. Someone joined using the admin account, maybe. Okay, many people are online as well. So people from Northern University Nowshera and Dr. Khalid and Women's University Multan, Dr. Malkarani, once you join, please do let me know so that we can move forward. Okay, so hello, hi Preeti, how are you? Can you hear us, please? It's good to see you. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear me, please?
Good morning. Hello.
Morning. Hello. So today we have a good house, you know. So we have 6 different universities joining today. So it's going to be a good session. I'm just waiting for the confirmation from Women's University Multan and Northern University Nowshera. Can you please confirm that you joined? Northern University Nowshera and Women's University Multan, the representatives. If you can give me. Focal persons from Northern University Nowshera and Women's University Multan, can you please confirm your presence so that I can move forward? Maybe in a minute or two, we are going to start the session. And I'm just confirming the last 2 universities. I think they are joining. So then we can start. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Let me formally start the session. I think we have uh, a good presence today in person and online joinings. So my name is Dr. Bilal Hassan, and I'm the senior lecturer at London Metropolitan University. And I welcome you all on this platform. But before I make a formal introduction of the session and the speaker, can I ask Professor Preeti to you for the few words before we start? Thank you very much for joining, first of all. Sorry, you're muted.
Thank you for that. Good morning, everybody. It's a sunny morning here in North London. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is one of many activities and initiatives that go to make up part of our very exciting transnational UK-Pakistan capacity building project, which we're very happy that it's progressing very well. We are at our midway point, and we have a lot of initiatives behind us and many other things to look forward to, particularly hosting a visit by our Pakistan delegation colleagues next month. But for today, we have a wonderful session for us. We have I think Bilal will introduce you formally, but for myself, Aninda Bose, thank you so much for giving up your valuable time to join us today. And I just wanted to tell our community here that you are such an esteemed and valuable person and as an individual, not just for the organization that you represent, but just as an individual, very supportive, a huge part of the research academic community, global community. And it's a real pleasure for us to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Preeti.
colleagues.
Thank you very much, Professor Preeti. It's really important that we acknowledge the contributions made into this activity to make it successful. Our focal persons from all the universities. So I will go so they can quickly introduce themselves. Maybe a few sentences. Professor Amanullah, starting with you, over to you, please. Thank you for your...
Assalamu alaikum and hi, good afternoon. I am Dr. Amanullah Yasin from Bahria University, Islamabad campus. Unfortunately, here in Islamabad in Bahria University, we are conducting the final examination, and today is the last day of the exam, and most of the faculty members are engaged in the invigilation duties and paper checking. But I am thankful to our principal and the director of research of Bahria University, who circulated this message with all faculty members and requested them to join on through Zoom link so that they can also benefit it. Yesterday, principal asked me to share the recorded session with all faculty members who could not attend this valuable session, which is very interesting, which will be very interesting, inshallah. And upcoming, there's summer vacations, and most of the researchers are trying to publish something, and they want to invest some time in the research activities because during normal semesters they are quite occupied and busy with teaching and academic activities, and that it's the best time to focus on the research. So I hope they will get benefit from this. I'm really thankful to Professor Preeti and Dr. Bilal, and especially to Mr. Aninda Bose to spare some time for this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have the partners from Thal University, Bakar. Dr. Shanawar, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bilal. This is Dr. Shanawar Niaz from Thal University, Bakar, and I would like to actually say that I'm proud to be one of the partners of this Transnational Synergy program, and thank you very much to Preeti Patel as well, and she's keenly observing activities too. And I hope today's session will be very much productive for our researchers, because people are coming right now. So I usually requested to our postgraduate students and faculty members who are actually engaged in the research and publications. So I especially request them, and they actually most of the participants will be from that domain. So I hope that will be a very. I mean, we have similar situation as Professor Dr. Amanullah Yassin told that we have also like vacations, summer vacations, and no regular classes. So that's why most of the faculty members are engaged in other activities, and students are at their home most of the time. So that's why we have less population right now. But I mean, people were actually showing much interest in this particular activity. And yes, so I hope, I mean, and thank you very much, Aninda Bose, that he joined us, and it will be very interesting talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can I ask, we don't have all the persons in the position of speaking at the moment, but few of them with us. Dr. Azhar, can you please, from Islamic University, Bahawalpur, thank you very much for joining this initiative. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
This is Dr. Muhammad Azhar Khan from Islamic University of Bahawalpur. We have joined this session first time in this first event. Faculty, as earlier mentioned, Dr. Shanawar, most of the people are away from the university, but hopefully we will gather around 20 people. The students are not coming nowadays, but faculty is, for research purpose, they are joining their offices. Hopefully this event, we have shared this with the faculty, and I hope the colleagues from various departments will join us. 6 to 7 departments, they will join us in this session.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Shahidullah, are you with us from Co-authorship University, Mari? Can you hear us, please? Dr. Shahidullah.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes, please. Yeah, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
This is Dr. Shahidullah from Co-authorship University, Mercy, the focal person from here. Most of our faculty members have joined in person, and we are very thankful for this forum. It is a second talk or second program since we have joined the TNS program. And we know that it is a very useful platform, and we are thankful to Aninda Bose for this talk. Hopefully, it will open a new chapter in research area, and it will be very beneficial for the researchers. And I'm thankful to Dr. Bilal for arranging such a nice event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. So other partners, of course, I have already mentioned that we have a good representation from different universities today. So I will now move to the introduction of the speaker. Thank you very much, Aninda, first of all, joining. As we know that Mr. Aninda is working as executive editor at Springer Nature, and he's part of the global acquisition team and operates from Springer London office. Lots of different activities he's under his role he's doing, including the publications, monographs, textbooks, and conference proceedings. And of course, he has completed his degree from Delhi University, and lots of experience in the market research, 270 plus invited talks, so many things on, and traveling to the almost every part of the world. So much on the credit. So this is a wonderful opportunity that he is going to talk to us on elements of the scientific publication and how to coordinate with the publishers. So this is going to be an insightful session. Thank you very much, and over to you, Aninda, for your insightful talk. And after that, we will ask all the participants for the question answer session, and you can also post your question in the chat box as well. Over to you, Aninda, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you, Preeti, for organizing this event. I'm very glad because, as Bilal said, that with the kind introduction that I love to travel. Yes, I do. And I love to travel, and I love to talk to academicians, researchers, especially because in my 30 years of career, I have seen, that most of the people have lots of queries and we don't ask them. maximum people think that my question is a stupid question. I can tell you in the beginning of my talk, none of the questions are stupid, only answers are. So ask as many as questions you can during the talk, after the talk, and even after going back. If you think there is a question in your mind, please write to us. I travel a lot. I will share my email ID with you, but my answers will be delayed, but always I answer back. So be assured that I will do that. To start formally, good morning from UK, good afternoon Pakistan, and salam alaikum. Let me just share my presentation here so that you all can see. It's visible, Vizal?
Yes, it's visible, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So it's always a dilemma when we talk about publication, which aspect we should talk. It's being such a huge area, to be very honest with you, that it becomes very difficult, and lots of questions are there in the mind of researchers, young faculties, senior people, senior academicians who are guiding new students. So it's always a big confusion in the mind whenever scientific publication is involved. And publishing is also going through a huge transition in last 25 years. If you see, first internet came, and with internet everything changed. The way publication is done completely changed, because traditional way of hard print publishing changed to digital publishing. First journals, then books. Then came a huge change again with open access. So whatever was digital can be open to the contributors, open to the readers. So it was again a big change, which transforming this whole industry, and also the academicians have to adapt themselves to understand what exactly is changing and how they can contribute, how they can participate. In last 5 years, things have changed in a very different way again, now with the artificial intelligence coming into the play. So in a way, if you see, in last 25 years, this transformation is huge. And people who are involved in this process, the people who have done their PhD, people who have completed and they are faculties, they have seen this transition happening. People who are coming as a new student or a new engagement, they can see, okay, the old things are done with, we have to do it in a very different way. I can tell you this transition will take much more time, because, with artificial intelligence and large language models being there, it is changing the whole scenario. So today we will talk about many aspects attached to it. And after my talk, we will open the forum for questions. So please ask questions. That is very important, as I said in the beginning. Let's, dedicate this talk to a very accomplished scientist, an English astronomer, Sir Fred Hoyle, because it's his 110th birthday today. He is the person who formulated the theory of stellar nucleosynthesis and was one of the authors of the influential paper. I don't know whether you know about this paper. It's B2FH paper. If you get time, please go back and check this paper. This is a very interesting paper. And that is what it tells you, it happened 68 years ago. This paper was published by 4 different people, intellectual leader being Sir Hoyle. But, papers or documents which are there, which are published, becomes a part of this whole globe. So it is very important that you engage in publication. It is very important that you actually document your work in a most correct form. With the dedication to Sir Fred Hoyle, let us start today's presentation. A little about the organization I am coming from. Quickly, I will tell you about Springer. I know most of the people, you are aware of Springer Nature. This organization was started by Julius Springer. You can see his photograph on the slide. In 1842, is a small bookstore in Berlin. Dynamics were very different at that time. The biggest publisher was Cambridge University Press. They started almost 490 years ago now. They are celebrating 490 years celebration now in Springer, in Cambridge. Springer started almost 183 years ago as a small bookstore. People used to come to those bookstores. Many Nobel laureates used to come and they talk about publication. And this is how, Julius Springer came with an idea to start publication. 1924, we came out and we opened another office in Vienna, which is in Europe. 1946, after the Second World War, we opened one of the biggest offices, which is my editorial head office, is in Heidelberg, Germany. But I work in London right now, and London is the biggest office of Springer at this point of time. Quickly, I will throw some numbers to you. It is always easy to understand things when you have something quantitative, measurable is there. Before we are going to today's topics. So if you look at the left side of your slide on top, you will find there is a number which is 7,000 plus. I can tell you that this is the number of papers published in journals, in English language journals per day. So you can very well imagine how many papers are actually getting published in a whole year if 7,000 plus papers are published in a day. Now, looking at this number, 7,000 plus papers which are published are actually accepted and published. This is just 30% of what is getting submitted. That means 70% of more papers which are actually submitted are in the process of revision or rejection or reworking, or so the only 30% is basically 7,000 papers plus per day. Books are not lagging behind. If you see, they are also 2.2 million books per year, which is again a very, very big number. The middle number, which is highlighted in red, I will come back to that later. So we will go to the right-hand side. If you see, we are talking about Springer here, and Springer Nature is a big publisher. We are here for so many years, and especially with researchers. Now we are getting submissions in the tune of 2.3 million plus only for journal publication. So you can very well see how many papers are just submitted to a single publisher, 2.3 million submissions in 1 year. Out of that, we have published 482,000 papers in 2024, and 50% of these papers are open access. Another important area is SDG. I hope you all know Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals have 17 goals, and they have 169 targets. In 2015, UN came with all these goals, and as a publisher, we started our publication in these areas from the very beginning. And now we are touching 1 million publications with 13 million plus citations, and again, 53% of open access. Now, coming back to this red number over here, which is 10,000 plus, this is quite an alarming number. And why I want to highlight this number, because a lot of unethical activities are happening right now in publication industry. And that is because of a lot of involvement of technology, which is in a way sometimes detrimental also. So in 2023, there are 10,000 plus retractions. But in 2024, the numbers have really, really increased. And, this number is I think they are almost reaching 30,000 plus, but yet to be final number yet to become. So, we are very concerned as in part of the industry. We are very, very concerned, as well as facing a very challenging situation, because a lot of papers are being generated by AI, and these papers are not very good for the community. So I just want to raise this alarm. We will talk in detail in our next section, where we will talk about retractions. But before going to that, I will tell you what exactly we will cover today: why publish, structuring your manuscript, ethical issues, and author services and publishing tools. The whole idea of this particular talk is basically to make you aware of certain aspects and give you more information, give you more links, give you more data, give you more guidelines, where you can find more information and you can engage into more reading. Because I am a true believer that, when you read more, then you write well. When you read more, then you understand well. When you read more, then your analytical and critical thinking improves. Now, all these things can happen when you are reading in your domain as well as interrelated readings. So let's first go to the first section. The first question which comes to mind when you are talking about publication: why write and publish research papers? Why there is a need to even publish a research paper? Because we are engaged in our experimentations, right? We are doing PhD, we are engaged doing our experimentations, and we are, trying to find a solution to a problem. But why there is a need for a publication, why we need to document it. Ideally, if you look at the situation, to share research findings and discoveries. Second is with the hope of improving human civilization. But if these two things they are very, very big things, where we can be a part of this, but practically, if you try to see, people don't think about these big things when they are actually trying to work on a paper or try to publish a paper. What exactly they are thinking practically? They think to get funding. The first thing for experiments, for running the experiments, you need money. So for needing money to run more experiments, you need funding. For funding, you need to publish. If you don't publish, there is a terminology in this industry, publish or perish. That means if you are not publishing, then you are perishing. You are removing yourself. So get funding to get a job, to keep the job, to get promoted. Now, these are the practical things when we think of. When I go to different universities, I talk to PhD scholars, I talk to researchers, important aspect in their mind regarding publication is, where am I going to publish? How my paper will be indexed? How many times it will be cited? How am I going to gain from it? What will happen to my career? So we are not actually thinking about anything about the improving human civilization. We are trying to actually fulfill our own needs. And in a way, we are trying to fulfill the needs of the society also. Interestingly, if you look at the ideal situation or a practical situation, editors, reviewers, and research community who are all involved in this process, they do not care about these reasons when they are doing the review and writing. They usually look for something which is called quality and novelty. Novelty is more like originality, because with novelty, people usually get confused. Everything I cannot produce a very novel, result. Definitely, but originality is the key. So importantly, this community is very interesting. In a way, when you are writing a paper, you are an author. When you are reading that paper, you are a reader. But if you're not doing these two roles, the third character is review. And reviewers are the most important people in this whole industry, because reviewers are the people who are helping us to review the work and then to make it, improve it, and make it possible for everyone to understand and help the science to advance in a way, So all the editors, all the reviewers and the research community, they do not care about these reasons, and they look for what I said, quality and novelty. There is a submission process. Now, submission process was much easier when there is no electronic thing. It was people used to send their manuscript. People used to send their books to publishers through postage mails. People used to send them. It used to take months for them to send it to the publisher. Electronic publication or introduction of internet has actually revolutionized publication industry in a way, because the whole submission process has changed. How it has changed? Now you have a manuscript, you write a covering letter with it, and you can upload it online. You don't have to do anything. You go to the website, you go to the link which is available, and you can upload your paper within minutes. But interestingly, always write a covering letter whenever you are sending your manuscript. That helps the journal editorial office to understand your paper in a much better way. Now the submission process, what exactly it is. You have a manuscript, you have a covering letter. Now you are sending it to the editor, right? Usually you don't send it to the editor, you send it to the journal editorial office. Now what exactly the editorial office will do, they will check whether all the elements of the paper are there or not. If it is, what exactly, whether the results are novel and topic is relevant, editor will check. If it is not, paper will be rejected. If it is, then paper will go for peer review. I hope you all know the meaning of peer review. Peer review is nothing but basically review of your paper by the peers. Peers are friends. Who are your friends? People who are working in the same domain or in the subject area. People who are working in that focused area of research will be able to identify themselves, and they will be able to check your work. Once they check your paper is finally accepted for publication. But there is a big process in between. Paper is actually going, most of the papers are actually going to a place called revision, because when you write a paper, maybe first time, maybe 10th time, maybe 100th time, Still, there are certain things which needs improvement. Still, there are gaps which needs to be filled. The peer reviewers or the reviewers or the editors can check that. They can discuss with you, and finally you come to a conclusion of this whole discussion thing which is happening, maybe in written form, maybe in dialogues, and also everything is happening. That process is called revision. So your paper gets revised. What exactly you are doing in revision? You may be asked to add new experiments, improve the readability of your paper, add more information. So sometimes, this revision time is a very long time. So maybe you have submitted your paper and you get a big revision comment. Then it might take a year even to complete the whole thing again and again resubmit. So finally, if the revision is done, your paper is finally accepted and published. This is the whole submission process. This submission process usually takes some time to complete. Be very mindful. Some cases it is very slow. If your paper is very nice, very niche, in a very focused area, then again, it is very difficult to find a reviewer. Then again, a whole timeline changes. So be patient with the publication process, and hopefully this is the process which you will follow when you are submitting your paper to a journal. Structuring your manuscript. Now, how you will structure your manuscript, we will look at different aspects. To start with, once upon a time, but once upon a time is something when we talk about fairy tale stories. We don't do that in our research manuscripts. They are very different. They have a structure. That is what I want to tell you. And you have to follow that structure to the T. And that particular model is nothing but, they call it IMRAD model. IMRAD model is nothing rocket science. It's just a small abbreviated form. What exactly is IMRAD model? It's introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Beside this, there is an expanded IMRAD. An expanded IMRAD starts with your title is the first thing, abstract, keywords is the top part of your paper. Then comes the IMRAD, and finally there are references and acknowledgements. Now, please listen to this question and answer this in your mind. Suppose you are drafting your paper. This is not the finalization of your paper. You are drafting your paper and you are creating a draft of your paper. And then what is the writing order? What element which we have seen in our previous expanded IMRAD, which section you will write first when you will draft your paper? Can you just think of, and I will tell you the answer right away, but if you can just think of an answer, which element from this IMRAD model is the first thing you will write when you are drafting your paper for the first time? First thing you will write is methods and results, because when you are carrying an experiment, when you are doing an experiment, first thing which you write is basically methods, and then you get some results. And that is what you do when you draft a paper. Second thing is introduction. Second thing is introduction and discussion. So what exactly is happening in the second stage? Once you are ready with your methods and results drafting, then you select your journal. That is very, very important, because after only selection of your journal, you should write introduction and discussion, because introduction and discussions always have word limits. Always there are instructions from journals how to do it or how to write it. So always it is better to find a journal and then look at their author instructions and then write introduction and discussion. And finally, you write title and the abstract. Title and the abstract is basically the summarization of what exactly you have done. You have a problem in your mind for which you are finding a solution, and from where you are actually generating this paper. But the title is not the direct question. The title is a part of that. So you create that title once you are ready with your paper. An abstract is a direct summarization of your work. So definitely when your work is ready, and then only you can write an abstract. An author is the best person to write the abstract. Why I am saying this and emphasizing on it, because there are many industries, they are actually helping research community to write abstracts, and I don't know how they do it. That is something which is very interesting to see. They use some keywords, but I feel as a publisher, I feel it is always good to write abstract of your own paper on your own and not rely on any other people, because you know the best what exactly is there in your paper. Importance of your title. When we talk about title, title conveys the main topic of the manuscript. It grabs the reader's attention. It introduces your manuscript to an editor. When you are submitting your paper to the journal, then it introduces to an editor. It is actually useful level for indexing. So be very, very specific and concise. Sometimes there are guidelines and rules given by journals that do not exceed 20 words or do not exceed 65 characters for a title. If your title is too long, then it is very difficult for people to understand. So you have to be very specific. Always try to keep your title between 13 to 15 words, not more than that. If it can be conveyed less than 10 words, amazing. So be specific and concise. Avoid jargon, abbreviations, and acronyms. Usually, we put some kind of abbreviation by mistake in a title, which is very common for only my domain, right? Now, if you are writing something about DNA, it's universal abbreviation, everyone can use it. But if you are writing something around CGPU, now I don't know what exactly is CGPU in your paper. Maybe a very small section of the community knows, but it is always good to elaborate that rather than using abbreviations in your title. Talking about abstract, as I said, it's the first impressions that count, because nowadays what is happening with electronic publication, when you are submitting your paper and your paper is getting published, if I want looking at your paper, I am looking at your paper, but I can only see the abstract part to start with. So if I read the abstract, understand the abstract, and I think that is useful for me, then only I will download the whole paper. So in a way, what is happening, if the abstract is not giving correct impression or correct meaning, then definitely I'm not going to download your paper. And if I'm not downloading your paper, the objective of publication is defeated, because your paper is not read, your paper is not cited then. So first impressions count. And how you put your abstract, it's basically you put relevance of your aims, importance of your results. Don't put results into it, just importance of your results, and validity of conclusions. These are the three things which you will actually put in your abstract. Abstract judges your writing style, and sometimes likely the only part that will be read. The reason I said, if I don't find your abstract interesting, then I will just read the abstract and not the paper. So it is very, very important that you create your abstract in such a way that, it conveys correct meaning, talk about your aims and importance of your results, so that I will be intrigued, I will be interested to download that paper and read if it is in my domain. Introduction, now bigger section which is coming now. Introduction is basically what question problem was studied. That is actually introduction. When we were in our school days, in our college days, we always knew, in case you are even writing a paragraph on a particular subject, there is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end. This is how a story is told. Your paper, maybe it is actually as per a particular structure, but still it has that particular flow of story is needed, where beginning, middle, and end is required. So introduction, beginning part, do not write comprehensive literature review. Now, the problem with us, when we do our research, we actually deal with a lot of literature, and then we try to put that literature whole maximum thing in our first paper. We don't do that. Cite them, give references. Do not write comprehensive literature review. Keep it a very short. And if you really want people to read whatever you have read, then refer them, whatever references you can put into the introduction section. Middle part, what you have to write, what is the rationale or reason for your study. Explain how you address the problem in just 1 or 2 sentences. Do not state results from your study. Many authors, they actually put results here in introduction section, and that is the first thing the paper gets immediately rejected or sent back for revision, because introduction is a section where you do not put results. You have a separate section for results. Introduction, end. When you are coming to the end part, clearly state the specific aims of your study, state the methods you will use to carry out your aims, and the citations which you are giving should be balanced, current and relevant. Now, if you are writing a paper in 2025 and your references are till 2010, that means you are telling the reader that in last 15 years, there is nothing has been done in this area, number one, because you are not citing anything for those 15 years. And if you are not citing anything in those 15 years and still work has been done, that means you are missing something and you are giving a very wrong signal to readers as well as to the journal editor. Materials and methods. The question is how you are using the materials and methods and how you are doing your experimentation. When you're writing this section, write in clear subheadings, describe methods in past tense. If you are using any new method which is not published before, give sufficient detail. If it is an established method which you are using, please use references. Do not write that from any other paper or from your previous paper, because that will actually create a lot of problems with your plagiarism. Describe statistical tests which you are using. Results, another section which uses subheadings, use past tense, but when you are referring to figures and tables, use present tense. Present the facts, do not discuss your results. Please do not discuss your results. This is an area where you will just present your results. For discussing your results, there is another section, the subsequent section, which is called discussion. Do not duplicate data among figures, tables, and text. Very, very important that whenever you are using a figure or a table for describing any particular thing, then do not duplicate that in context in the text, because if you are duplicating those things, again you will get back, paper will be returned for making changes and all. So include results of statistical analysis in the text. See, I am telling you, figures and tables are very effective. They are the best way to convey the result of your paper, but keep it simple, use separate panels. Again, I'm coming to this, avoid duplication with the text, because if you are duplicating, then definitely you will get back with the revision comments that please change it. And interestingly, whenever you are using a figure or a table, it has to be labeled very correctly. The caption or legend should be standalone, because usually, you must have seen the people who are doing reviews, even senior people sitting here, they know very well how to do a review a paper. So what exactly they are doing, they are taking a printout. They don't go and do it online sometimes. They take a printout. That is the easy way to do it. They look at the abstract, they look at the title, they briefly read the introduction, immediately they go back to the results, they flip the papers here and there. And this is why, your legends should be standalone. They should give a correct meaning. If I look at the result, if I look at the table, I can actually get the gist of the paper. And that is how you create your tables and figures. Discussion point. When you are writing discussion, I think this is the most difficult part to write, because now you have presented your work, you have talked about the methods, you have presented your results and everything. Now you have to discuss about it. So be very humble. Number one, don't overstate your importance of your result. Don't say this is the only result, or don't say this is the first time this result has, because, if you are wrong in this, obviously, paper will be rejected. And, the reviewers feel, it gets very offended, when you write something like this, that this is the only result I have received. This is the only thing which has been done ever. Don't do that. Be very humble. Present your result, even if it is the first time result. Be very humble and and present your result in a most perfect way, and discuss them in the section discussion. So what exactly you have to do in discussion? Answer the research question. Now here you have to briefly, in 2-3 lines, you have to answer the question which was actually raised by you when you started your research. Always provide the major or main result first. Do not try to play with results in this section. Always talk about the results, which is because we don't have that much of time where we will read something and then we will, all these things happen, in a book which is like a fiction, not in a structured manuscript. So always provide the main result first. Give your conclusions based on the results. Middle section, interpret the results. If the results are from previous studies, compare them, whether they're same, whether they are different, possible reasons why they are same, why they are different. Briefly describe the limitations of your work. If you don't, the reviewers will ask you to do it. If you know your work, if you know your subject, if you know your research area, then you know what is the limitation of your work, and briefly mention that. End of discussion, reiterate your conclusions. Usually you will say it starts with in summary, in conclusion. These are the signpost or the signal which tells a reader also, okay, we are at the end of it. Mention possible applications and implications, and suggest future work if necessary. See, it's not mandatory that you have to talk about future work always. No, it's not. But if you know that there is something which can be done in future with your work, so definitely you put it. That adds value to the paper, but it is not going to be something which is going to create any issues for you if you don't put it. References, the section is very important. Always format references. You get the guide for authors or instructions for authors are there always, and formatting is required in text, citation from as well as in the bibliographic. So use reference management software. There are many softwares available nowadays. You must be using some of them, RefWorks, Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero. Yeah, there are many, and use them effectively. They really help you to work according to the instructions which are there. There are mostly there are two type of references: name date and numbered. They are called Harvard and Vancouver styles. So whatever style is being followed by the journal, please do that accordingly. Coming to the third section, that is the ethical issues. This is very close to my heart. I am very ethics-driven person. I love people who love ethics, and ethical issues are not only restricted to research publication. Ethical issues are basically what we learn from our family as a child, and then inculcate those values, and then we follow them throughout our life. This is how ethics goes. When we talk about ethics in research, the important word which comes to mind is copyright. English is again a very interesting language. You just put a space between copy and write. No, it is not right to copy at all. Don't do that. But interestingly, what I want to show you here is basically the logo of COPE. You can see that it is written COPE, COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics. This is a body where all good publishers are member, and we follow all the guidelines which are provided by COPE when we are dealing with any kind of unethical issue. So it is important for you to know this particular thing, to go to their website and see the guidelines and the rules which are available over there. If you know them, and there is a platform where you can even discuss with different authors about case studies are there, which will help you to understand different kind of unethical aspects which are going on. So it is a place where there's a lot of learning is there, a lot of information is there. So I want you people to go to this website, check what exactly is available, and that will help you to understand when you actually publish your network. Now we talked about retraction briefly with that 10,000 plus numbers in 2023, and I said numbers are growing very much. Now, what is the most occurring reason for retraction? When we actually think about retraction and why this is happening, as a publisher being in the industry, we thought we should actually find the reason. The first reason which came out was equally surprising for us, as you will be surprised, it's an honest error. 40% is honest error. That means people are committing error, but they don't know actually they are doing it. And that is only happening because you are not following the rules or understanding the rules, or you don't know the guidelines well. And that is why you need to know about COPE. So 40% error is honest error. Fabrication and falsification plays a big role, 28%, because a lot of data is available nowadays digitally, electronically, over internet, over different places, and you can actually take those data and you can create and falsify them. Redundant publication is self-plagiarism. That means which you have already published, you are trying to publish the same content again. Now here you don't have to do that until and unless there is a big requirement to put something from your previous work. Then you do it. Like suppose you are working on an advanced algorithm and you want to put the algorithm itself, then it makes more sense. But if you are using the sentences or the methods which you have already used in your previous work, you can refer them rather than using the same text in your new paper and look at the work, which is like self-plagiarism. Other reasons are there, but definitely most important is honest error. So please go back and look at the information guidelines well. Simultaneous submissions. Simultaneous submissions is again another unethical activity. In a way, submitting the same manuscript to multiple publishers at the same time. Now, why this is unethical? Because, you are wasting time, effort, and resource. When you are sending your same paper to 5 different publishers, now all these journals are effectively looking at your paper and sending them for revision and for review. And for this revision and review, then the person who is doing the review is basically the resource. Now, if 5 different journals are sending your paper to 5 different reviewers, then obviously 5 people are engaged for a single paper, and that is a big waste of time, effort, and resource. That is why simultaneous submission is a big unethical thing. Multiple submissions means sending several different manuscripts to the same publisher. This happens in case of a conference or in a case of a special issue. In special issue, you will find there are only 15 papers, but maybe 5 papers are coming from the guest editors only. Or in a conference, which is happening in your own institute, out of 50 papers which will be published in proceedings, maybe 25 papers are coming from the same institute. Now, this is something called multiple submissions, and this is unethical. Plagiarism is a buzzword. Nobody like this word, but interestingly, again, in this industry, we see that there are words which are synonyms. We use words like overlapping, similarity, and these are the words used for plagiarism. But if someone is telling you that your paper is 50% similar or 50% overlapping, same meaning, paper is plagiarized. Stay away from this plagiarism thing. But there is something called fair use. There is a document which was published in 2012, Association of Research Libraries. They have published it. It is available on Google. You can see what is the fair use, how much content you can use without taking permission or under certain circumstances. But my advice is always take permission and then use it. If it is your own paper, take permission from the journal for reuse of the content. If it is someone else's paper, take permission from the author, or again go to the publisher and take. How are we alerted? How we as a publisher get to know about plagiarism? 3 ways. Original author, they tells us my paper has been copied by someone else. Reviewers, they tell us that it is a copy, but they are reviewing so much, they know, okay, there is some problem with this paper or there is something fishy about it. Researchers who are basically reading that, they are whistleblowers. Readers, as a reader, you see, oh, this is the same paper which I read somewhere else. Now authors have reproduced it. So it's a plagiarism. Or you see, oh, the authors have copied this paper from someone else, because in your domain, when you are reading, then obviously you are coming across different type of papers, and you see, oh, this is the same paper. So we know we have a tool which can identify plagiarism, but I will tell you, it cannot identify plagiarism. We are mistaken by this whole thing because, we see, oh, there is a tool, there is Authenticate, there is Turnitin, there is Docolog, they can identify plagiarism, but they can throw certain numbers to you. Only a human eye or a peer reviewer or a subject expert can tell you the paper is plagiarized or not. This is how it looks from inside. This is how Authenticate looks. Because we use Authenticate, I can show you the screenshot. See, this is such a lovely, colorful paper, but interestingly, it is highly plagiarized, so cannot be published again. So some tips from my side regarding the use of tools, how to do that. Tool cannot detect all problems. If we say, okay, we are using the tools only, no, tools is something which is actually helping you to identify certain things. After that, paper has to be reviewed by subject expert. A low similarity score does not mean there is no plagiarism. Now, what I want to tell you here, suppose there are 2 papers, X and Y. Take an example, X and Y. We run them through a particular tool. X gives you 30% similarity. Y gives you 10% similarity. Now, looking at the numbers, you can very well say, okay, X is 30%. That means it is more plagiarized. Y is 10%. It is less plagiarized. Let's go a little deeper into it. Let the subject expert look at it. So you will find this 30% in case of X is coming from 30 different sources. It's just 1% match with each source. Now, and this 10% is coming directly 10% from one section, maybe method, maybe results. So immediately you will see the 10% becomes more problematic than 30%. It is also important to look at the individual scores. That means, suppose there are 2 papers, X and Y, both are 30% similar. Similarity 30%, similarity 30%. But if you look deeply, this 30% coming from 30, Y 30% coming from 3. So individual sources are important and not the overall similarity index. Setting a standard is always difficult. People usually ask us then how to use it. Setting a standard is basically misusing the tool, but I will tell you how to do that in a much scientific way. It's basically any percentages similarity index between 1 and 20. If you are getting anything between 1 and 20, go and see for individual scores. See there is whether it's coming from how many sources, a quick look, and then you can send it for review. Anything which is between 21 and 40%, be very mindful that return it to the author, and author will again revise the paper. Anything beyond 40%, reject the paper, because anything beyond 40%, if you are trying to change it also, you are just paraphrasing it. You are not actually changing the real meaning of the paper. So only publications, another important aspect is only publications by participating publishers or societies. That means all these big companies, Authenticate, Turnitin, and other companies, they create a cross-check database. And this database is basically getting checked. So anything which is available in hard copy or printed form cannot be checked by these tools. Common phrases are not. Suppose you are using a common phrase. As I said, suppose an algorithm is needed in your paper, but that algorithm will be highlighted by the tool. But only a subject expert can tell you, no, this is needed. And that is why a human intervention is needed. Text for which you have taken permission. You have already taken permission, but it will be again highlighted by tool. So it's basically, we don't have to blindly follow the tool. We have to use it very judiciously. Then patchwork plagiarism. Patchwork plagiarism is a plagiarism where you are basically taking content from here and there, and you are trying to create a paper, and which is highly unethical. So stay away from all these unethical activities. General advice: verbatim copying should be put into quotation marks and should not be too lengthy. Give credit to the original author. Don't go back to the author for getting permission. Try to go to the publisher. I will tell you how to do that. And always request permission for reuse of figures and tables. Whenever you are reusing a figure or a table, even from your previous work, even from your own published work, then also take permission back and then use it. Very easy. This chapter is published in Springer. Similarly, there are papers published in Springer. So you have a home page of your paper. If you go to the home page of the paper, down there, bottom, you will see reprints and permission. There is a link called reprints and permission. Similar type of links are available with all good publishers when you publish with them. Just go to that link. You will find there is a new page will open, which is called rights link. They will ask you some questions that, what permission you need, from where exactly you need. Suppose if it is your own paper, then they don't charge anything to it. Suppose it is someone else's paper and you are using that particular work in a book where you will get some kind of remuneration or royalty, then there is a possibility that you have to pay something to get the permission back. But if it is your own paper, you don't have to do anything. So usually when you go to this rights link page, they will ask you some questions, and once you finalize and submit, then the permission team will send you an email giving permission for reuse of the content. So taking permission digitally is very, very easy process. You don't have to do much, but at the same time, it is better to take that and then only proceed with your next work. Be aware of certain things which are very, very important, which are very, very scary also at the same time. So you need to be aware of them. On top right, you can see something called SciGen papers. I don't know how many of you know SciGen papers. SciGen is a tool which was developed by three MIT students in 2004. And they wanted to show the world a tool can generate paper. And there's many conferences or many places, even they are not doing correct review. They are not following the review process correctly. And they created a fake scientist. They generated paper through SciGen, and then they published it also. And interestingly, what SciGen does, if you create a paper in SciGen, you can put your name, you can put my name and say, create. A paper will be created. Each sentence is correct, but sentence to sentence, there is no interrelation meaning is there. So immediately, you can see it's something which is a person from subject area can read 4 lines and tell, okay, this is not correct. This paper is fake. But if those papers are even getting published, then there is some problem with the review system. Then we have robo-writers, all these LLM models, which you see right now, so people are using robo-writers. I see there is no harm in improving things through robo-writers, but, please don't use robo-writers for writing the whole paper. Firstly. Secondly, it is also very important that when you use these robo-writers or LLM models for improving or enhancing your work, then we very, very carefully do it, because whatever original work is with you, if you are pasting it on their servers, then your work is also getting public. Predatory journals. There are many journals which are not good journals. They only take money. They don't do peer review and they publish. And you have to be very, very careful while submitting your paper to a journal. It's easy to find that. There is a list called Beall's list, BEALLS. You go to Beall's list and check whether the journal which you have identified or selected is a part of the predatory journal or not. Then we have paper mill. It itself says, the name says paper mill means factory. So papers are getting generated, So people are doing it. Many senior people are also involved in this whole process of paper milling. And this is something very, very unethical. Then we have tortured phrases. Tortured phrases is again very interesting thing, you are tweaking or twisting a word to so that you don't get caught. How people are doing it. Suppose it's a paper on a smart city and you are copying content from another paper first. But instead of using the word smart city in your paper, very, very cleverly, you have changed it to brilliant city. So, the tool, you are basically fooling the tool. But if you are doing that, this is something people were doing it, but it is easy way to find them also now. And there are tools for finding that. There is a particular website called PubPeer, PUBPEER. If you go to PubPeer, you will find different type of cases are there, and that will actually help you to understand all these things. Then there is citation manipulation. Again, senior people are involved in this. This is a very mathematical thing. People use citation in such a way in their paper that they are manipulating and their H indexes are growing up. So it's always good to be aware of something which is unethical, but don't use them. Use the tools, but don't be a tool. This is something which is interesting. This is called research integrity and introduction for researchers. This is a training which we have developed, and this is free of cost. You can go, you can log in, you can actually go through this module at your own pace. You can register for free. It is basically to give knowledge to people what exactly is research integrity is and how we are dealing with it. Last section, quickly, I will tell you about some author services and publishing tools, which you can go back, use them. If you find useful, you can continue using them. If you don't find them useful, at least it will be a knowledge for you. There is an organization, Japanese organization. They worked with us before for developing our own tool, but they have their own tool also. This is called My Journal Selector. If you want to select a relevant journal for your work, you can take use of this tool. They have 28,000 plus journals listed. Simple way of using it. You go there, put the title of your paper, put the abstract of your paper. If you don't have abstract ready, then you can put keyword of your paper. Don't put keyword of the subject area, then the search will be too broad. Keyword of your paper and then search. The journals which are relevant for your work, they will identify. And this 28,000 journals are from all good publishers. For Springer journals, there is a tool we have, Journal Finder, where we have 3,000 plus journals are there, what we have. So you can use that tool if you want in Springer also, and they will help you to give a Springer journal. Reviewer Finder. Reviewer Finder is something very, very interesting as well as important also in a way, because nowadays, whenever you are trying to submit your paper to a journal, everyone is asking for a reviewer. Please suggest a reviewer. So maybe you don't know them, many reviewers. So Reviewer Finder will help you. But I find this tool very interesting in a different way. If you are finding a reviewer in your area, that means you are finding a person who is working in your domain, maybe in same area, same experiments. So you actually can find a person and write to them and get a networking going also, rather than it's more of a networking tool rather than reviewer finding tool. So you can use it both ways. This is a page on springer.com, author and reviewer tutorials. There are specific tutorials available, and you can go and you can go and you can use them. All these tutorials are very well prepared and in a way gives you lots of information. These are like need based. Whenever you should know where to go and how to find it. That is important. So whenever you have a query in your mind, you can go to these pages and see, okay, the FAQs are answering that, or there are videos available and different kind of information available. So mostly you will get your answers there. There is another tool called SharedIt. This we started almost 7 years ago with journals. Now we have done with conferences proceedings also. So what exactly SharedIt is? SharedIt is basically sharing your work in a legal way. I know there are illegal platforms where you can get access to everything, but there's always a legal way of doing it. So whenever you are publishing a paper with Springer, you will get a link from production, or you can go to the bottom of your page and you can home page of your paper and you can find that link. You can share that link with the community. Community will be able to see your paper, read your paper completely. And that is a big, big thing because you have a possibility of sharing your paper free of cost. Now, suppose you want to download a paper from Springer and you see that paper is not subscribed by your institute, so you cannot download it, but you can buy it, but you don't want to buy it. So at the same time, you can actually write to the corresponding author of the paper, please share it with me. So that it works reverse way also. You can get access of the full paper just by writing it to the corresponding author of the paper. That is called share it. ORCID IDs are basically the unique IDs, unique recognition for all researchers. So if you are a researcher and you don't have an ORCID ID, please go today and register yourself because this helps in correct identification and recognition of your work. This is something where you will find, this is a page, again, we are talking about rules, guidelines, and policies. This is a page where you will find all the policies. springernature.com/gp/policies, talking about publishing policies, editorial policies, book publishing policies, and also about research data policies, because we are using data very frequently nowadays for our experiments, for our research. Then open access publication policies also. So it is important for you to know again, where to find all these policies, and they will help you to improve your work. People who have already completed their PhD, people who are, at a junior level of teaching, or people who are at senior level and they want to document even their class notes in a way, this is a fantastic way to actually document your work. These are small books. Springer Briefs, compact volume, 55 to 125 pages. Suppose it's a big article, journal article, 80 pages. 80 pages you cannot publish in a journal, but 80 pages can be published in the form of a book. There is no particular structure for publishing in Springer Brief. It can be a single chapter, it can be a multiple chapter. Soft cover binding, quick turnaround, copyright remains with author. So if it's a cutting edge technology which you want to publish immediately, make it documented to people, but at the same time, you want to do a journal article later, so copyright remains with you. You don't have to go back and ask for it. This is a very nice way of introducing your work to the community and a small book to your name. Before I conclude today's presentation, today's talk, let me talk about 4 books. These books are very, very important for all researchers, and I think you all should have them with you. The first one, you can see the cover, How to Write and Publish a Scientific Paper. This is written by Barbara Gastel and Robert A. Day. This is the 8th edition cover. 9th is already out. 7th is freely available on Google. You can go and you can download the PDF also. But this is a book which will tell you how to write a scientific paper in all different forms, and very, very nice book. Getting It Published is a book by William Germano. He was a publisher himself. And this is a book which is talking about different elements and nuances of publication, where, a lot of terminologies are being used, which you don't know the meaning of, but this is a book which will help you to understand them. Textbook of Research Ethics. This is a textbook which is used by many different universities. This is written by Sana Lu. If you are not using in your university, at least get hold of it. And it is a nice read, nice understanding of ethics, and a best way to communicate to others also. This is a very new book, I think published 3 or 4 years ago, Writing for Publication. Again, talking about a lot of scholarly tools, basically, and these tools, I have just touched upon few of them. It is impossible to talk about tools in the era of AI because there are thousands of them. But this book will tell you there are different tools which are really, really useful for your work. Interestingly, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today. And this is my email ID, aninda.bose@springernature.com. If you have any queries later, please write to me. If you have a proposal, you can write to me. If you have any suggestions, advice, you can write to me. So with this, I open the forum and I ask Bilal so that he can see if anybody has any query at this point of time, we can address to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And can you please stop sharing the screen so that I can share the feedback survey part, if you can, please?
Yes, I stopped it now.
All of you, yeah. All of you, I think you are able to see the, survey. And I will also post this into the chat window as well. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. Just give me a second. Are you able to see my screen, right? Is it okay to see?
I can see
Okay.
it. I think
Yeah.
others
Okay.
can too.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we have two types of audience present at the moment: in person in different universities and online audience. So let's make a mechanism. We will start with the in-person people, starting from the Thal University, Bhakar, for the question answer session. Meanwhile, online audience, can you please post your questions in the chat window? We are continuously looking at it so that you can post there, and we will read from there, and we can ask from the speaker. So. Meanwhile, I'm moving to the Thal University, Bhakkar. Online users, can you please post your questions in the chat window? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, first of all, to Mr. Aninda Bose for such a wonderful talk. And I hope, actually, I believe that people will have a good insight into that today's talk. So I have a very quick question, first of all, that while having look on plagiarism thing, it just came in my mind that there is another thing which we call AI, generative AI. So while that softwares or facilities, they are detecting similarity index, so they are also mentioning AI. So what is your take, and actually your general take, that what is the mechanism of that AI, and how we can overcome that generative AI, and is there any standards for that your journal has?
Thank you for asking this question. This is a most hot topic at this point of time, as you know very well, that how AI is generating content and what to do with that actually. See, when you see all these reports, as you said correctly, with the similarity index, you also find that this is the type of AI content being generated. But again, I would say there are false positives, there are false negatives. This is basically a perplexity value which is coming there. And this perplexity value is not the correct indicator, because I have seen that when this value is sometimes 35%, and we have written to the author, and we found that this is an original work which is wrongly highlighted by the tool. So right now, the tool has to also, change it in a way, or, new tools have to come so that they can actually really look at that content and say, yes, it is generated by a tool, AI. So I don't see anything wrong in using AI. As I said during my talk also, the AI is something which is helping to enhance the work. AI, people who are of my age, they know very well how computer and calculators being treated when they came. People were so very scared. Calculator is going to do everything. Computer is going to take away jobs. This is how we used to feel. AI generation, I think it's again the same thing. This is a transition time. It will take some time for you to understand how this whole thing works and how to correctly use it. Correct using and acknowledging that. If you are using AI or any LLM for generating a tool, even for enhancing work, why not acknowledge it in a proper way, rather than writing the whole paper through AI? And then because if you are actually trusting LLM models and AI too much, then there is a problem, because then we are moving away from our own original work. Now, as you said, what is the take for our journal? We don't have a particular take as the journal wise, but we have AI policies. And they are very clearly mentioned. If you go to springer.com and say editorial policies, and if you go to even Google and said editorial policy Springer, the page opens and you can see there is a particular AI policy which we are following right now. During the talk also, I mentioned one thing: please don't paste your original thing into these tools. Then you are feeding the tool. You are basically putting your original work and you are taking it to the server. So that is also very important, that you should be careful enough to use these tools in a correct way.
Thank you very much. I would just ask from the audience here in Thal University if they have any question. Yes, Dr.
Yes, Dr. Saab, I want to know that how you will define the term novelty. Most of the papers are being rejected that they don't have the novelty. So we usually mean that novelty is the new thing of any research. But if any paper is rejected from the one journal, the same is accepted in the other journal. So how we can see the novelty of a new work?
Good, correct, sir. This is something as I said during my talk. Every work cannot be novel, but every work can be original. When we try to find novelty doesn't mean that it's the most new thing which has happened, but there is an advancement of the work also. So the most important thing what a journal editor or a reviewer is actually looking at is the novelty of the work in a way, whether it is original or not. If there's originality is an issue in the work, then sometimes they give you the standard reply that work is not novel in a way. But another area is basically where you will find even the work is out of scope. Maybe the scope is not correct in a way for finding the journal. Then also, there is a possibility that you get a reply from the editor that your work is not novel in this area. So that scope matching is also very, very important. And that is why I said that we have tools like EDANs have their journal selector. We have our journal finders, which will help you to find a journal which is actually relevant for your work, which is actually matching scope with your work. Then you can say, okay, whether the work is original or not, that is a question mark. But at least for selecting a journal, correct journal, then that solves your half of the thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, any other question? Yes, Dr. Saab.
Actually, we see that language of the paper matters a lot when it comes to acceptance of the paper. I have seen the same work which is written in a better English is accepted compared to the paper which is a little bit poorly written. So here comes the AI tools and other language tools.
True.
So I think can you suggest some of tools? Should we use such tools to rephrase the sentences to look at in a better language or better for the clarity of the message? Because
yes.
Everyone here is not expert in English.
Very true, very true. See, we come from a country where we speak so many languages. Our mother tongues are different. We don't speak in English every day with at houses and all. So obviously there is a possibility that whatever we write is not up to the level of what English speaking nation is writing. Definitely. But at the same time, when we follow the structure of a paper, importantly, we don't have to write any ornamental or flourished language in science or any research paper. We have to be very, very particular to what exactly we are writing. For enhancing, definitely, it is not good to use public tools, as I said, for enhancing, because you are then feeding the server, feeding the tool. But if your institution is buying a tool with a limited server capacity, then there is a possibility. Like many institutions are using Grammarly is a tool which is very effectively used by many institutions. They buy the license and they use it for enhancement of the language. There are many tools like this. So if it's more advisable to buy at an institution level, because individually we cannot buy. We don't have that kind of fund. We don't have that kind of money where we can actually put into a license of that much amount. So institution can buy, and then we can use that tool in a way where we are helped by the institution. And that is possible.
Can you suggest some other tool other than Grammarly, which is better than this?
There are many.
Because I have used both the paid and free version of Grammarly, and I don't think it is so much useful when it comes to it. There's not that much difference between free to and paid version of Grammarly when we use it.
Yeah, but I would always advise to use the paid version. Free versions are like all promotional tool softwares which they basically put out in the market where people can see, and doesn't work like that. But as I said, even Grammarly is just an example I gave, and there are many tools like this. Subject wise also tools they differ. because humanities is very different from science. Science is very different from finance, and they also work differently. So I don't want to name tools over here because there are so many. It's like it will more like I will be promoting tools, but that I don't want to do. But if you go and you can find tools in your area, definitely there are. And AI has really, really opened things. I can tell you, it has given you an option where there are hundreds of them, and you use the free version just for promotion, just for checking. But don't use the free version for your original work. That doesn't make any sense.
Thank you very much.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
In many cases, journal reject the paper, saying that paper is not closely lie in the scope of the journal. But already in the same field, in the same domains, many papers are published in the same journal in the same time, and they reject our paper. What's the reason?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. See, many cases you will find the reply is out of scope, but you have identified the scope correctly. You can see there are 10 more papers which you can see very well. Maybe your own paper, maybe a year ago, it was in that journal itself, but still they are saying it's out of scope. Here, the problem is, the volume of the papers. Or the journal is not interested to publish in that same area for the time being. There is a possibility that suppose there are too many papers are coming in that area only, and they don't want to do it. They want to go a little away from that. And that is why they sometimes say this is not the scope which we are looking for. This is out of scope at this point of time. Please submit somewhere else. This is a possibility many times.
Okay. Okay.
But you can actually write back to them. See, it is a world where
when we write back them,
nobody
they also reply the same. Yeah, sometimes not reply.
It's actually the game of volume. Volume is so high.
So, in how many papers we can submit in a one journal in 1 year can get published? Is there any limit?
How many papers you write in a 1 year?
No. 2 or 3 papers can we? No. My question is, 2 or 3 papers can author publish in the same journal in a 1 year?
That is what I am asking. How many papers you write in 1 year?
3 or 4.
Interestingly, see, when there are measurable quantities, as I said, this has become a game, which we don't want in a way also. We throw some big numbers, but at the same time, we want to tell you, if you are very judiciously working on your experiments, how many papers actually in your whole PhD time? See, usually you will find institution is asking you to publish 2 papers in your whole 4 years of PhD. Why are they asking you to only publish 2 papers? Because they know writing 2 papers and publishing 2 papers in 4 years is a big time, big work. Albert Einstein published only 5 papers in his lifetime. But now we are publishing 5 papers in 1 year. And that is also low sometimes. That is also. So we are running behind the numbers, which we should not. The important thing is, so if the journal is basically accepting your work, there is no criteria that you cannot publish more than 3, more than 4. But there are criteria when we deal with guest papers, guest edited works, or like conference proceedings. In proceedings, we always say, don't take more than 2 papers from same set of authors. Don't take more than 5 papers from same institution. But for journals, if your paper is good, journal is accepting, you can publish even 4 papers in whole year also. There is a possibility. There is no limit as such. There is no limit.
Okay, thank you.
With due permission of our host, Dr. Bilal, I would request for only one question from Thali University.
Sure.
So I want to ask, while elaborating the how to write results, you have said that not to duplicate your work. Not to duplicate your data.
Correct.
I want to ask, kindly elaborate it, how to avoid duplication with results. I did not understand what do you want to say.
Okay. Thank you for asking.
We
Yes,
have
yes, tell me.
original results. We have original results. While
Correct.
writing, how to not duplicate it? Please elaborate it.
Yeah, ma'am, I say, see, you have original results. You have a section where you will write your results, right? And you have a section called discussion where you will discuss those results. See, I said do not duplicate the data when you are presenting your result in the form of a table or a figure in the form of a text also. Suppose you have your experimentation results and you have tabulated them in a table. Now, if I look at the table and look at the data presented in the table, I can very well understand what is the result. You can write that my results are this and it is elaborated in table number 1, but don't try to define the whole table in your text again, which is something people are doing mistakenly. And when you have this duplication, which is something which is already in the form of a table is also appearing in the form of a text, then you will find, reviewer will tell you, please remove one of them. Either you present the whole thing in the text form or you present the table and remove the text thing. That is what I said.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aninda Bose, for your generous talk and time. And I would just go over to our host, Dr. Bilal. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Participants
Thank you
can
very much,
ask
Dr.
questions.
Shanavar. Before I
welcome,
move
sir.
to the next partner university, can I remind you, please, for your valuable feedback using the QR code provided on the screen? If you can please provide, that is going to be really helpful. Can I move to the Northern University, Nushaira? Dr. Khalid Zaman, you may have some question. Welcome you on this session.
Am I audible?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. So our director, Tariq, is to ask some questions.
I think there is another mic on at your back. That's the reason. Speaker's on.
Bilal, I'm Dr. Nushaira, Director QC. I have one question from Aninda Bose, a very fruitful presentation. My question is related to a very specific area. The whole Pakistani scholar are facing this problem. This is a very. Then how can research balance the tension between publication and
Cannot hear, Bilal.
No, we cannot hear you clearly. I think
problem.
We cannot hear you clearly, actually. Can you please?
You can come close to the mic, I think.
Can you please come close to the mic, or maybe you can post the question in the chat window.
Then let me ask the question again.
Yes.
How can researcher balance the tension between publication?
No, I think it's not clear. It's not clear.
Yeah, we cannot hear it.
No, we cannot understand the question. Maybe due to some, the voice is coming from very far away.
You. Yeah, I cannot hear you.
Bilal, I have a question. Are you listening right now?
No, it's coming very far. I mean, it's not very clear voice. Maybe you can type in the chat window. Is it possible? Is it possible?
Can I ask
Maybe.
a question?
Yes, it's better now.
Sir, my name is Dr. Khurram Javed. I am Director Advanced Study and Research of Northern University, Nushaira. Sir, I am fully involved in research activity from the last 10 years. But right now I have a question related regarding the when we submitted our research article in any highly reputed journal. For example, recently from the last 5 years, I have submitted more than 3 articles in highly reputed journal. But they are taking so much time. For example, they are taking giving us a response 1 year. What is the reason behind it? So my second question is that sometime when we will receive the report from the external reviewers, sometimes external reviewers give us biased question. So how we can handle it and how we can report such type of activities to the journal. My third question is that sometimes reviewer can totally change the modeling of our question, modeling of our manuscript. So how we can handle these critical issues right now? A lot of our students are facing such type of issues.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for asking these questions. First is the timeline you said, right? Now, timeline is a big issue in journal publication right now. And the timeline is a big issue because of the volume involved. I told you about the numbers in the beginning, what kind of a volume is involved when we are basically dealing with journal articles. So what exactly you have to do, you don't have to wait for 1 year for their reply. That is not the correct way of moving ahead. Because if you are waiting, if you don't show any kind of eagerness from your side, then journal will sleep over it. So what exactly you have to do when you submit your paper and you will be given a tracking number. In this electronic world, there is something good is that whenever you submit a paper, you get a tracking number. You can track your paper and you can very well see how the paper is moving from one step to another step. In case there is no movement to your paper for 4 weeks, first 4 weeks you have to give to the journal so that they can actually accept and they start with the process. That first 4 week is given. But after that, it is very important that you see every 4 weeks there is a movement or not. In case there is no movement, you write to the journal contact. Go to the homepage of the journal. You will find the details of the journal contact, who is the publishing editor. Please write to them very clearly that I have submitted this paper. This is my tracking number. What mistake we do, we try to reply to the automated mail, which is not going to anywhere, number one. Secondly, we try to reply the editor-in-chief, who is very extremely busy and not involved in the daily work. So if you are writing to the contact of the journal that this is my paper, this is my number, last 4 weeks, there is no movement in my paper, that will give pressure to the journal, that will give information to the journal so that they can reply back to you. If you see that 3 months gone and nothing is happening, you are writing, you are not getting reply, very clearly write to them, I want to withdraw my paper. Even if you do not get an answer from them, you can withdraw your paper and you can send it to somewhere else. But without withdrawing your paper, don't send somewhere else, then it will be simultaneous submission. So withdraw it and then you can track your paper. Second thing is basically you said sometimes, reviewers are giving very biased replies. Possible. There is a possibility. I fully agree with this. It happens. But now in this era, it is always good to re-communicate. You can communicate with the reviewers also. And in case reviewers are not ready to communicate on that, then definitely, that journal is not worth for you. You can look for a different journal. Third, you said that, your model is changed by reviewers. This is happening in certain cases because, when we are also, a journal is also looking for reviewers, they look for people who are from the same, domain. Now, there is a possibility that your work is very focused, very niche in an area which reviewer is not able to understand. Possible. You are not actually working in every area where everyone can understand. So there is a focused area. If the reviewer is not able to understand your work, then we very clear with them, politely tell them, this is not my work. My work is this, my model is this. So I see there is a dialogue needed. Don't think that the reviewer is the final authority who can change your paper. No. Reviewer is the person who can check your paper and give certain comments which will help editor to take a decision. So be very mindful that have a dialogue with the reviewer. Don't fall into that trap where, where you will be penalized and your work is going to be changed completely. That is not the way, review is needed. Review is something where you will be helped to publish your work.
Sir, I have a simple question related from that. If reviewer give us more than 15 article, his own article, you have to cite it. So how we will handle this type of situation? A lot of time,
Yes.
sir, the situation is critical. Multiple paper does not belong to your field. So how we will tackle such type of?
I fully agree with you, Javed Saab. This is a, that is why I said there are so many types of unethical activities are being, happening. It's not only by you in surrounding also you have to politely refuse it. If you think the paper is in your domain and including 2 references is going to help you in publication of your work, please do it. if it is directly attached to your domain, and including 2 extra references is not going to make hell of a difference. But if the reviewer is asking to put 15 references, no, you cannot do that. 2, 3, understandable. 10 plus, not at all. In case it is not in domain, you cannot, right? It is basically, if you are trying to put something in your paper which is not actually related to your paper, you will be penalized later, and people will take your paper down because it will be irrelevant reference. Please don't do that. Please politely refuse.
Thanks a lot, sir, for the remarkable review, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have more questions from
Bilal Saab, I have a question.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
I am Dr. Mubashir Ahmed. I am Dr. Mubashir Ahmed, QC Director, London University, Nowshera. I have a very original question that our students face every time. How can researcher balance the tension between publication in high-impact journals and addressing the context-specific research problem that may have limited global appeal? For example, we are living in a developing countries, and mostly we work on our own problems, and these problems don't have high appeal globally. So what will be our strategies to make our problems more innovative to publish in Q1 journals, so that because our context is developing, and mostly the good journals belong to developed countries. So what is the model? Please, Dr. Bose, if you explain this.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for asking this question. Let me tell you that there are officially, if you go to UN site, there are 195 countries. Out of 195 countries, only 30% countries are developed countries. There is an echo.
Mubashir sir, kindly switch off your audio phone, please.
Yeah, can you please?
So out of 195, there are 30% developed countries, rest 30% are developing countries, and lastly 40% are low-income countries. Sir. Correct. You are very correct in a way to find we work on our own problem areas, and we are supposed to. If we want to develop our country, then we have to work and find solutions to the problems which we have. We cannot find a global problem and find a solution to that. Then it is not helping my own country, that is not helping my cause. And that is something which we have to do. Now, coming back to this problem, there is nothing stopping us to publish our work saying that it is not a global problem. I honestly, I'm telling you, I have never seen a review remark like this, where the reviewer is saying that this is not a global problem, because we see none of the reviewers are supposed to see that the problem is global or local. They need to see the solution which is coming to the problem is correct or not. The idea is to find whether the problem which has been generated is getting a proper solution or not through research. It is not important that it is a global problem or a local problem. We try to, and this local problem which you have in your own region will have n number of other countries will be party to that. Don't you think there is a problem which is in Pakistan is not in India? We have similar kind of situation, which is in India is not in Sri Lanka, which is in Sri Lanka not in Bhutan. These are the subcontinent area. We have very similar kind of research problems, and we have to find solution to that rather than finding a problem which is happening in Norway. See, because that is not going to help. So it is important that if a comment like this has come, then the reviewer is not doing a correct job. To be very honest with you, you can write to the editor very clearly. This is a problem. This is the solution which is provided by the experiment. This is provided by my research. And this is the, idea is to find correct solution to the important issues. The idea is not global or local. Reviewer is not supposed to see it's a global problem or a local problem, to be very honest with you.
Thank you.
Sir,
thank you very much.
You are totally right. We have problems. We have to address our problems.
but
Yes.
there is a academic professional query I have. And mostly in our academia throughout in Pakistan, when we meet our supervisor and a doctoral level or master level, what is the first question? Bring me all those papers. So when we deal the papers, the models, they, can you compare the lab of developed countries with the Pakistani labs, the opportunities? Mostly, the flourish papers come from the developed countries, the developed labs. So when we bring those theoretical models and make the base to our models, mostly our professors don't like it. They like, to bring references from, find literature gaps from good papers, highly impact papers. That is the missing part. Maybe we don't know about it, how to do, but I'm what actually the way you brief it, I am now sure that all about the researcher and creativity. How you
losing him, Bilal. I cannot hear him now.
I think there is a connectivity issue. Maybe they can put the question in the
stopped
chat
actually.
box. And looking at the time, I'm sorry, guys. Looking at the time, we have to move to the next partners as well. If you can please put your questions in the chat, and we will definitely answer those in detail as well. So, can I move to the next partner, Pakistani University Bahawalpur, Dr. Azhar? If you or someone from your team, they have the question, participant. Can you hear me, please? Dr. Azhar from Islamic University Bahawalpur. If they have any question, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank you for your nice informative talk. So, sir, I just want to know that when we go through the high impact factor papers, then we see that some of the papers have very low quality data. And even though when we see that some of the journals which are not even Q3 and Q4, it has very good data. So what is the basically the issue? Why the data is not choice according to the standard of the journal sometimes? Is it the choice of the editor or any other issue regarding the specific region or the area from where the paper is submitted?
Sir, I can give you a quick example to reply your question. So you just find the best university in Pakistan, which you rank number 1. You will find there are many poor students in that university. And you go to a university which you rank very low, you will find there are very bright students in there. Much brighter than students who are in a good university even. So this is we are living in a world where things are mixed, right? So selection of a work or presentation, or sometimes even in good journals you will find it's a possibility that there are papers which are you find average papers in your domain, but they are published by Q1 journals. At that point of time, the study which has basically provided the platform is correct. But maybe, and sometimes the version changes so quickly. Like in computer science, if you're working in machine learning, you will find anything what you are doing a model right now will be an obsolete thing after 3 months. If it is not published within 3 months, then obviously you cannot publish it. But after reading, when you read that after 2 years or 3 years, you think, oh, this is a very, very average work, because at that point of time that was good. But the next 3 years, that has become even a low impact paper. So it moves, we are sitting in a very dynamic situation, dynamic world where you will find mix of things available. Our whole idea is to first find a journal which is suitable scope. Don't think about a good journal or a bad journal. First, you go to the list of journals which are legally correct journals and find a scope which is matching to your paper. Then you try to find which is impact factor is good or not, because these things change. People who know what exactly is impact factor is a mathematical formula devised for thing. You know, if suppose you have published 100 papers in 2 years and only one paper is cited 100 times, your impact factor is 1, 100 by 100. You take that paper out, impact factor of the journal is 0. The one paper has defined the impact factor of that journal. So, you know, these are the factors which are important, but not necessarily the only factors which we look at. First thing is the scope. If your scope matches, then your paper is going to the correct journal. That is very important.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your answer. One more thing is that what is the difference between the corrigendum and the retraction? Because sometime when author has any objection to the work, then they can write to the editor and they publish the corrigendum regarding to the paper. And even though your corrigendum is published and the paper is also there, the previous one. And the second thing is that whenever you have any question and the editor or the research integrity team contact you regarding the queries of your paper, published paper. So you answer the question, and even though the editor retract your paper, so either is it any chance or any other thing you may write the editor, and then you can answer your retracted paper, or you have to write the corrigendum first?
No, sir. See, I will just first tell you the difference between corrigendum and corrigendum or erratum is basically, you know, for correcting some content, technical thing which is there in your paper which was wrongly published or produced. So suppose a technical formula, an equation is wrongly given by author or are wrongly typesetted by the publisher. You know, there is a kind of a situation where something technical wrong or incorrect thing is in your paper. So then there is a possibility that we will publish a corrigendum or an erratum. And in erratum, we will mention that, okay, this is something which was published in this paper on so and so date is basically not correct. So I am basically correcting it. And the correct thing will be there. And both the papers are linked together so that the reader knows, okay, this is not the correct thing. Correct thing is published in the corrigendum. But retraction is completely different. Retraction means something unethical has happened, and because of that, which cannot be corrected, because of that, the paper is retracted. Now, when we say retracted, that means correct meaning is taken down. But in 99% cases, the paper remains there with a watermark, very clearly mentioning that author or anybody else who has done something unethical, that is why this paper is retracted. So retracted means the paper is taken away, nothing is corrected in that. Corrigendum is correction of something which is done wrongly in a paper, not unethical. Corrigendum is technical. Retraction is unethical. So unethical thing has been done. I said 99 papers remain there. Only 1% paper, maybe from medicine, which is going to have a larger impact on the society. The paper is always removed. We don't want to keep that incorrect science even available. Then we remove that whole content. Otherwise, we even keep that. And that is very derogatory for any researcher if he or she has done anything which needs to be retracted. And it is also there as a watermark. People can see, you know. Now, coming back to your second question, that in case there is a retraction. Now, this has happened in certain cases where the special issue is completely having a problem. Now, in that special issue, suppose there are 12 papers. Now, publisher has found that editors have done something wrong, where the guest editors have done something wrong, where 6-7 papers are being compromised. The problem is this: the whole 12 papers are taken away. Maybe the other 6 authors haven't done anything wrong, but they were penalized. But if a paper is retracted by the publisher by giving certain remark, it is impossible to actually go back and have a fight with them, because retraction process takes a long time, sir. Retraction, if you go to our website now, springer.com, you will find, if you write retraction investigation, in Google, you write retraction investigation comma Springer, you will find we have uploaded some videos now, which will actually tell you what is retraction, why we are doing retraction, and what is the process of doing retraction. Because there is a lot of, there we face lots of question in last 5 years, because during COVID, in 2021 and 22, lots of special issues were published, which are now taking a retraction, and they are retracted. And that is why this whole thing has been done. I think you will get more information there. If you don't get, you write to me. I will send you the links so that you can actually see them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm looking at the time as well, with the speaker. So can I please, if you can please put your question in the chat box. We promise you that we were going to ask the speaker to reply you back. I will take a note of that. So can I move to the COSAR University, Marie? Thank you very much, Dr. Azhar, for the questions. Dr. Shahidullah, if you have any questions, please, you can ask. I'm sorry for the cutting down the question answer session. I know it's too many questions from the people. Dr. Shahidullah, can you hear me, please?
Yes. Thank you so much, Aninda Bose, for such a nice talk. It was very informative, and I hope everyone have learned a lot of new things. Now I ask my colleagues if they have any question. Please put your question here. Anyone from COSAR University have questions? Okay. If they don't have, I have some questions.
Please do, sir.
Yes,
please do.
Yes.
Please.
My question is about preprint policy of the journal. If the journal is publishing paper, sometime when we submit paper, they ask for preprint, and later on when you later on when your paper is shifted to another journal or it is rejected, what is the policy for removal of preprint? One question. And second question is about conference paper submission. Is it announced by journal itself, or it can be handed over to university or another platform if they request for a conference paper submission and publication? Thank you.
Dr. Shahid, thank you. Thank you for asking these questions. Preprint is an area, I haven't touched that, honestly, in my talk. See, now, if you are putting anything on preprint, for people who don't know preprint, I will just quickly tell them, before doing your submission to a journal, you are actually putting your paper, which is your form of paper, which is not the final form, which is published, your form, author's form, that will be given to a preprint body. That means it started with archive, ARXIV. Now there are many preprint bodies. So you can preprint your paper. That means because before the final print, you are putting it into preprint. Now, when you are putting it into preprint, then always tell the journal that you have put this in preprint. Preprint also gives you a tracking number or a number which will help you to identify your paper. You can actually put this preprint as a reference in your original paper. And when your preprint is published as a paper in the journal, then you go to your preprint and give the DOI of your paper. That is how the preprint and print is getting linked to each other. This is one way of. The question which Dr. Shahid asked is a very interesting question, that suppose he has put preprint and he has submitted it in a journal and the paper got rejected. So preprint appears. What is the policy that when you are submitting it to a next journal, but when you are submitting it to a next journal, nowadays all good journals, they accept preprints. So you have to be very clear again with them that you have actually put the preprint over there, and this preprint number which you have got, you tell them beforehand, and finally you have to again link it. So that way, your paper is safe in the preprint. The whole idea of preprint is because during the process of review, which is sometimes 1 year long, your paper were stolen by some academician. So that is why people started with all this archiving of papers, so that you get immediate feedback on your paper and also you stop this stealing of your work. So, and this is how you actually safeguard. Coming back to the next question about conference proceedings, which if I understand correctly, you mean when you are coming up with a call for paper, for your conferences, then it is possible, sir. You can actually through a platform can be anything. Platform can be through an university. If the university is involved, that is the best thing to do. Because otherwise, if you are using a public platform, then there is always a chance that you have to keep a lot of information available to them. But if an institution is actually doing the conference and institution is engaged, then best thing is to put institution over there and take the papers in the institution thing. That is the best way to get the papers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think if you don't have any question,
thank you so much. I think there is one other question from Dr. Malik Saddam Khan.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
So thank you most for presenting your talk so well. Some of the points were familiar to me, while others were new. So thank you once again, sir. I don't have any questions, but sir, at this stage, I have a suggestion that is maybe at every researcher mind. So I have noticed that journals like Springer often rejects papers at the editorial stage without providing any explanation. This can be frustrating and actually waste the valuable time of the authors and the corresponding authors. Actually, they are left with without guidance on how to improve their manuscript. So this is my suggestion. On the other hand, sir, I have pretty experience with the American Chemical Society. If they are going to reject the paper at the editorial stage, so there is a pretty well explanation from the editor that we are going to reject your paper, and these are the reasons. So this actually helps the author. In sense of not wasting their time. So they actually improve these points before submitting the same work to the other journal. So, sir, my suggestion is that Springer and some other publishers consider adopting this approach, and it will greatly support the authors in strengthening their research and submitting better manuscripts, sir. So that is all about the suggestion, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Malik, for actually highlighting this whole thing. See, the whole idea is whenever the paper is in editorial stage, we cannot actually give a rejection without reason. Otherwise, how the author will improve it? There is no way author can improve a paper. There's no way author can go to the next level of the paper also. Even if it is rejected here, you have to see. We believe a paper written once will be published somewhere. Even if I am rejecting, someone else will publish, right? So, but you need a reason. You're very, very correct with your thing. But I don't know this is happening in Springer also, because usually when the paper is rejected in the first stage, it can be because of scope, maybe because of any other reason. But if a paper has moved to the editorial stage, so definitely there are editorial reasons, right? Subject-wise reasons for rejecting those papers. Otherwise, why would someone will reject a paper? And if that reason is not mentioned, then the rejection is even itself is not complete. So you can actually go back to the editor and ask them, what is the reason for rejection of this paper? If you just give me the editorial reason, then only I can actually work on it. So, okay, rejection and acceptance is a part of this whole publication process. But definitely, there has to be a proper way to go through that. I fully agree with you. If it is happening, then it is wrong. And you can definitely get back to the journal very clearly that I need reasons so that I can improve my work, not necessarily again find an acceptance from you. At least I can improve the work and move to the next level.
So thank you. I think we have time for the one more question. Maybe I can ask Professor Amadullah from the university if you have any question, please, if you want to ask. Professor Amadullah, are you with us? Otherwise, we can head toward the conclusion of the session. And we really promise that if you have any question, you can send an email to Aninda directly. He is always very responsive. You will always receive the email that he's on leave. But
yes, please do. If you have a question, please write to me. I will be happy to address them.
Yeah. And if you don't have any question from other partners, so can you please complete the feedback survey? This is just only 4 questions, but they are really helpful for us to move forward. So we have some question in the chat window as well, and we are going to reply those as well later on. At the moment, we have to conclude the session, and we really appreciate all the.
Hello.
Yeah.
May
Yeah,
I
please.
may I ask a last question, please?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Aninda, thank you so much. What an amazing, the time just flew by. Usually when you spend 2 hours online, you become very fatigued. But, personally, I feel really energetic and there's a very good atmosphere in this particular session. So I do thank you. My question brings us back to our funded project. So this is a partnership between UK and Pakistan. And one of the reasons why we put forward some ideas about the work we wanted to do jointly, and I think one of the main reasons why we were given this funding was because there's a gap. And that gap is that there seems to be in this part of the world a lack of opportunity to co-author. So we're talking about co-authorship, which, as we all know, if it's done ethically and for the right reasons, co-authorship can only add quality to a piece of research. Okay, so this is one of the aspects that we wanted to strengthen, and I wondered if you had any tips for us. We haven't mentioned that dirty word APC, which is terrifyingly challenging for everybody. And I wondered if you had any tips for potential teams of researchers who were looking to co-author UK, European with Pakistan researchers, and this whole idea of co-authorship, how we can maybe circumvent cleverly, if you've got some ideas for us, circumvent the kind of financial challenges that we face, perhaps, in publishing. Have you got any tips for how we can better work together?
Hi, thank you, Preeti, for asking this. We usually you will find our countries, India, Pakistan, we are always in the stage of developing, and it's very challenging for us to invest, on our in research. Number one. Secondly, put more funds into the researchers' lab, where they can easily go and do open access publications. So we always say open access publication is an author pay model paid by funders, sponsors, but it is again a challenging work for researchers to go and find these funders. It is very, very difficult. What I see as an opportunity is UK has a good number of funding bodies, and they are doing a lot of good fundings but reaching them is a challenge when we see coming from India, coming from Pakistan and other countries. So it is good if this is a funded project, right? But if you have a possibility to find funds which are available for UK researchers where for publication, because when you write a project, a grant for your work, grant writing itself also has some amount allocated for publication in UK, which is never a case in Pakistan. We don't have that kind of funding available for our research. So we cannot go for open access immediately because we don't have that. We have to write to 10 people and see if there is a possibility or not. If those type of open access platforms are made available to co-authors from Pakistan, because so much good research is happening in Pakistan. Only thing is we just need to make it a blend with where the funding is available. That is something, a great thing which sitting in UK we can do. And I feel extension of this funded project, you can see there is some kind of publication, some kind of documentation which will come. You might think of a particular area where you can publish a book even with the co-authors on a particular science project from this coming out of this funded thing. And that is only possible because they cannot find funds from there. Funds can come from UK. I have done that, I have actually done in a way like Liverpool Hope University. They had very good fund at one point of time. And I did collaboration with Indian universities with them, so that, the next book which is coming, collaboratively, they can work for a year. And after 1 year, they come out with a book, which is an open access book, which is never a possibility for the person who is sitting in India, because they cannot give 10,000 euro for publishing a book, but 10,000 euro or 8,000 GBP is a possibility in UK funded projects. This is something which you can actually extend and you can work with them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Preeti, and thank you, Aninda. So I think I also want to add one last thing here, that building the sustainable partnerships, this is the most important thing. And this project is actually started with the 4 different partners from Pakistan in collaboration with the UK, London Metropolitan University, UK. And we are still looking for more partners. And of course, now we have a big number, 7, 8 partners, and from different locations, remote locations of Pakistan. So we are very much open if you want to collaborate with some of the colleagues in the UK and you're looking to publish something, and you are looking for some other review activities or writing activities, collaboration in fundings. So, I mean, it's all about building the partnerships. So this is one thing which happened today, one of the activity. We have so many things to come on, and we have already done so many trainings and something. But apart from that, so thank you very much, everyone, and especially all the participants, and Aninda, for your time. It took a long, we were expecting this 1 hour, but it's going to be more than 2 hours. So simply, I would like to say thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And we have a special souvenir for you, and I will deliver to your place in London, definitely. And thank you very much, all the partners, all the universities, I would say, for your participation. You can put forward your question. We have noted them. We will definitely respond to those questions, and you can connect with us and Mr. Aninda, Professor Preeti, and me anytime for any future collaborations. We will get in touch. Thank you. So please complete the feedback survey. That is really helpful for us to improve the activities.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
everyone.
Have a good
Thank you, all the
day.
participants.
Thank you. This is still open. You can please complete. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.